Hey everybody, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game called A Study in Emerald. A Study in Emerald, this is the second edition, is from designer Martin Wallace, published by Tree Frog Games, and Gray Fox brought it to America, I think, in this edition. It plays 2 to 5 players, about 60 minutes, 13 and up. 60 minutes might be wishful thinking, but anyway, whatever. Game times vary, it doesn't matter. But effectively what this is Martin Wallace's foray into deck building. But the way that we're going to do that is we're also going to have some hidden roles. We're going to take on one of the roles of Restorationist or Loyalist, and we're trying to either defend the city from the Elder Gods, if we're a Restorationist, or if we're a Loyalist, we're trying to protect the Elder Gods and eliminate the Restorationists. It's a hidden identity deck building game with some worker placement, area control, all that kind of thing. Basically every good Euro mechanism that you can think of is in this game. So let's go down to the table, check it out. Alright, so here's a game of Neil Gaiman's A Study in Emerald by Martin Wallace, all set up for 2 players. Now I've already done all of the setup and we're getting ready to start the game, but to set up you're going to place the board out. There's going to be 2 cards for each location that need to go on the board. There's a city, and then there's a royalty card, which is one of the old ones. And if an Elder God comes out, they're going to go above or below the space in the city, and then the next card gets flipped up, which is what I've done up here in London. Then, based on the player count, you're going to mix a certain number of game cards in with each of the locations and shuffle them, and you'll have the board set up. Each player is going to get all the bits in their color. 5 influence cubes will go in limbo for each player. Each player will put their scoring marker on 0, and based on turn order, we're going to put 2 agents out on the board, which we've already done. And then each player is also going to get a deck of 10 cards. They're all the same, but they are in their color. Let me make sure I have the right colors here. Oh, that's purple. These are purple's cards. These are green's cards. All right, so green here. So I'll be green. This player will be purple. All right, so each player is also going to randomly get dealt a role card, a secret identity. There's Restorationists and there's Loyalists. I am going to be a Restorationist. We'll keep that one unknown because we don't need to know what they are right now. So I'm trying to score points as a Restorationist, which means trying to kill off the Loyalists and the Elder Gods to bring the world to peace and all that good stuff. We'll get into more of that in a little bit, but right now, just tuck that back in the back of your mind. I also have this marker here on 28 because that's the end of the game. And as these tracks move, the score is going to adjust. And I'm going to mark how much additional points we're going to add. And then I know when one of the markers gets to that, I'll add the points and go on with that. Just something I read on BGG that seems to make that piece a little bit easier. All right, so on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to draw 5 cards. And I'll show you what the cards look like. There's these cards with icons on the left, and then there's also some cards with a bomb or maybe some other icons on the right. Now, on your turn, you get to take 2 actions. There are, 6 or 7 actions you can do. The basic action is taking some cubes, putting them out on the board to a space. So if this player wanted to get some influence out, they could play any number of cards that have the cube with the down arrow to put that many cubes out into a single city. It has to be a single city. And that can be one action. Second action is cube with an arrow up. I could take this action. I have 2 cards. I could spend both those cards to take that action. And I could take 2 cards from limbo, put them in my supply. So those are the easy actions. Add influence or gain influence. Next action is the little ladder icon right there. That's going to let me move. For every ladder, I can move one of my agents anywhere I want to. So if I played 1 ladder, I can move this agent over here or over here. No limit to the number of agents in the city, and it doesn't matter where you go, you can move wherever you want to. That's the moving action. Next action that's important on the card is the cards here with a 1. What that means is, if at my first action of my turn, I can play that card to acquire new cards from a city. So if my turn started and it looked like this in Rome, as long as I have at least 1 influence cube and I have more pieces of my color than everybody else, I can take the top card. I'm going to score points based on the points in the card. Doesn't matter what the color of the points is. We'll try to explain that later. And then I'm going to take the card, put it in my discard pile. It's a new card I have to use. And then all of my influence goes to limbo. Everybody else who has influence in that location gets it back. Agents just hang out. Then you'll flip another card. If an elder one comes out, they'll go to the appropriate spot, and then you'll flip another card. So that's that. And another main action that you're going to see, there's an additional action on some of the cards that I don't have out. But if we look at this Rome City, we'll go to that one first. There's also arrows with numbers in them of green and pink. If I play that action, I can play any number of cards with an arrow, doesn't matter the color, and move those tracks up accordingly. So if I played a green 1 and a pink 3, I could go 1, 3 like that. So that's another action. But the main action, one of the main actions you can do is an assassination. That's this A right here. When you do an assassination, the card that's used for the assassination is out of the game. So keep that in mind. And I'll explain an assassination when we get to it, but just know that that's another action you can do. You can also pass and discard some cards. I don't recommend that. Just play your cards. But those are the main actions you can do. Now let's go ahead and get started. So these are Agent Wednesday's cards. And what do we want to do? I think we want to get some influence down. So let's go ahead and I'm going to play 2 cards for influence. So I'll play these 2 cubes going down. And I'll put 2 cubes right there. Then I have one more action I can take. I want to go ahead and spend these 2 cards with the cube going up to gather 2 influence. Put those in my supply. I keep this card and I draw up to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that will be my new hand. All right, that's my turn. Now it is purple player's turn. They have mostly the same cards because all the starting hands are effectively the same. So these are their cards. What do they want to do? I think they want to get some cubes. They don't have a lot of get cube cards, so let's just play some cubes. So they're going to play these 2 cards. Then I'll let them put 2 cubes out on the board. Put their discard right here so I can get to it. They'll put 2 cubes out, and they're going to put 2 cubes out here. Then for their last action, they will grab a cube from limbo. And then they have 2 cards left. They will draw 3 more. 1, 2, 3. All right. So they have 5 cards. All right, now back to me. Now, it's the beginning of my turn. I can acquire this card if I want to, and I think I will. It's the only one I can acquire, but I could acquire more. Like, I could play both of these cards and get 2 cards if I met the criteria, but I don't. So I'm going to take Rome. I'm going to buy Rome. I'll spend this card to do it. And then these cubes go away, and the Rome card is worth 4 points. It's up right there. So I will get 4 points. And those are neutral points that I will not lose throughout the game because there is a possibility to lose some points. And then we'll flip the next card. It's the Elder God. So we'll tuck that one down in here. We'll cover up the points for now. We just know that it's there. And then we'll flip another card. Ooh, that's a nice one. 3 bombs, 1 use. I'm going to go ahead and play 2 cubes down to right here. All right, so that was my turn. I draw up the 2 cards. When you run out of cards, you shuffle just like normal deck building stuff. I didn't mention that, but this is a deck building game. That'll be my 5th card, and then these will hang out. These will go away as my hand, and then it's this player's turn. All right, so they will now take their turn. They have similar stuff going on. And they want to acquire this card. So these 2 cubes will go to limbo. They'll play this card for the card action to acquire that card. They'll get the Necronomicon. The Necronomicon gives them 3 points, but it also has that insanity icon, which means they have to roll the die. Whenever you roll that symbol, you lose 1 of your sanity. Sanity is how we're going to be revealing cards. Our alliance cards. So once we get all of those gone, we're going to flip our cards, and that could end the game if that player is a pink player. I think. Yes. Yeah, pink player. So that's their first turn. They took the Necronomicon. Goes to the discard. And now for the second turn, they're going to put some cubes down because they want to get Madrid. So they're going to put some cubes down, 2 cubes. And they're going to try to acquire Madrid. All right. They have 2 cards left. They'll draw these. And then they need to draw 1 more. So I'm not going to be able to show you everything that happens in this game. It's just not going to happen. But I'm trying to at least show you some of it so you can kind of see what goes on here. Back to me. All right. I'd like to do an assassination so you can see that. But let's play this. I'm going to play Rome. I'm going to play it for the arrow. What that means is this track slides up. When there's a difference in these 2 tracks, that means everybody gets that many points. So I'm going to slide this down to know that everybody now has 1 point. And only at the end of the game, if you're a loyalist or if you're a restorationist, you get the difference in the points. So if this track was like this, and I was a loyalist, and the green track was ahead, I would get the difference of the 5 points or 6 points, however many. If you're a restorationist, you don't get any of those points because they didn't advance their score track. So everybody gets the points for now, but only one team is going to get the points as we go. So that's the first card. The next card is, I want to go, let's see, I'm going to put 2 cubes down. Play 2 cubes, and I'm going to put them right here. Okay, and that is my turn. These get discarded. I have 2 cards in my hand. I'll draw back up. I now have 5 cards. Okay, back to this player. All right, they're going to, they're going to acquire a card. So they're going to use the card action. They're going to take this card, so their cubes go away. They get Madrid. Madrid scores 3 points for them. They are purple. 1, 2, 3. And then they're going to flip this card. They're going to move some agents. So they're going to move some agents. They're going to spend these 2 cards, 2 ladders, to move both of their agents over to here. All right, and that is their turn. They have 2 cards left. They draw back up to 3. All right, I'm trying to set something up so you can see it there, so bear with me. All right, so now it's back to green. Green. Green is going to acquire that card because they have to have an influence and they have more pieces than everybody else, so they're going to acquire that card using the card action. So their cubes go away. They get the card. When you take a card that has that icon right there, that lets you take one of your new agents and put it right there into the location where you took the card from. And then this card goes into the discard pile, not worth any points, and we reveal a new one. All right, and then I want to I'm going to get some cubes. So I'm going to play 3 cards that give me cubes, and I will take 3 cubes from the supply. All right, I played 4 cards. So I draw 4 cards. There's 3, 4, 1 more. All right, back to this player. All right, so what do we want to do here? All right, let's do this. Dang it. All right, we're going to try something else. I'm going to play this down. I'm going to move an agent. I should have left him here. And then what I want to do is I'm going to place down 2 cubes right here. All right, so I played 2 cards. Purple played 2 cards. They draw back up. Back to green. All right, let's see. Green. All right, so they're going to move 2 agents over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an assassination. All right, so here's how an assassination works. For my second action, I'm going to do an assassination. You have to play an assassination card that has that symbol. Then what happens is you have to have at least, more pieces than everybody else. And every agent that you have here is going to be considered a bomb value. Now, why that's important is you can see this number here, 3. In Rome, it costs 3 bomb values to make an assassination, or 5 bomb values to assassinate the elder god. But I'm trying to assassinate a person, so that's what I'm going to do. So I got three agents here. That's 3 bombs. I met the criteria. So what I do is I take this person off the board, put him on this card, and then I immediately scored 3 points. So 1, 2, 3. Now, I will only keep these points if I'm pink, which I am, or if I kill a pink player, which they are, and I am green. I'm not green, but you need to bluff people sometimes so they don't always figure out who you are. So I'm basically getting 3 points now, but I'm going to lose 3 points later because I don't know if this person is pink, and even if they are, I'm not green. So then this card's out of the game. I'll just set it over here. Keep that there so I know. Then these cards are discarded. And that is my turn. Oh, those are discarded, not discard. Then I draw back up to 5. All right, so that's an assassination. The Elder God assassination works the same way, except when you get it, you're going to score some points. If you're pink, you're going to keep those points, but either way, you're going to score the points. Then you have to roll the die. If you lose sanity, you have to get rid of one of the agents at that location. So same thing. And then this card just goes away, and it's going to be points. And effectively, that's how the game plays. I think that's most of the actions that you can do that I tried to show you. Now, one thing I want to talk about is how the end game works. The game is going to end if either, let me make sure here. Victory points. Okay, yeah. So 3 ways. If a pink player has to reveal their role, game ends immediately. Restorationist. Game ends immediately. If someone scores up to 28 or where this white disc is, then we move it up to 28, game over. Or if one of these tracks get to 10, game over. Then you're going to score. The pink restorationists are only going to score points that they've acquired for pink cards. So I'm not going to get these points because I'm not a green player. So these points would go down. 1, 2, 3. And I also wouldn't get to keep this 1 point because I'm not green. So I would go down another point. Green player would look, they would get this 1 point for sure. So they'll bump up 1 point. And then they're going to score any cards that they have that are either neutral, which are, you always score the neutral ones, which are the black. And they're going to score any of them that are green. And then after that, whoever has the most points is the winner. In a multiplayer game, I think maybe even in a 2-player game, if there's 2 different roles, because you might be on the same team and you just don't know. If there's 2 different roles, whatever team is the lowest loses an additional 5 points. I haven't been doing that in a 2-player game because it seems a little brutal, but if you're playing 3, 4, 5 people, you can do that, and you want to make sure that you're not in last place after all the scoring is done. Then after all that, the team that has the most points can win the game, and only the player with the most points is the winner. So that is how you play A Study in Emerald. Let's go to the top, see what they think about it. All right, well, that was A Study in Emerald. So I did one video for Martin Wallace via Nebula, and I got a taste of Martin Wallace putting him on the channel, so I had to do this one as well. I just recently picked this up in a trade, and I played it 2 or 3 times, only at 2 players, so I'm waiting to see it at more than 2 players, because I think that's where the hidden role stuff is really going to shine. But enough about that, let's just talk about the game. So I like this game. It's fun, and this is the 2nd edition, and it changes stuff around quite a bit from the 1st edition. I haven't played the 1st edition. It's really hard to find, super out of print. But I've heard from some videos that I've watched that this one takes that one, streamlines it down into a more easily accessible package. Now let's talk about the easily accessible part. This game is still pretty tricky. The rule book's not great. It feels like the scoring is bizarre. I mean, it makes sense. It's a Cthulhu, Sherlock Holmes, zombies, vampire world, but I wish that was a little more straightforward. And even when I'm playing the game, all the times I played it too, I still felt like I was doing something wrong. So keep that in mind, that everything that I showed you in the video, I probably was doing something wrong. And I'm not 100% sure that I've ever actually played this game correctly. I think what you saw on the videos is correct, and I think the way I played it is correct, but I'm a little hazy on if the in-game scoring was done correctly. So there's that. But I like Martin Wallace games. They're different. So a Martin Wallace game is different from a lot of other games. Usually there's trains involved. Usually there's network building. Usually there's moving resources from a spot to somewhere where you need them to activate something or run something. But this one doesn't have any of that. There's no route building. It's just deck building. Playing cards, moving your agents and your influence around. Maybe assassinating other people's pieces. Maybe assassinating the royalty or the elder gods so you can score some points if you are that faction, which is the tricky part. But yeah, I enjoy this. Of all of Martin Wallace's games, this is probably up there pretty high for me. I'm not going to say it's my favorite. That probably is still London or Brass, but I really do enjoy this one. So I'm going to give this a BGM Accept the Seal. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 on BGG, which is a 4 out of 5 wrenches on an arbitrary wrench scale that means absolutely nothing. But we have to give it the games that we enjoy, and that's what I'm going to do. So that is Study in Emerald from Martin Wallace. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics. And as always, keep gaming.